Well, just in the shed, getting prepped up for my winter league tomorrow, which so far it's not been brilliant. First match was great, and after that it's all went a bit downhill, but there we go. So it's only a quick one because I'm actually testing my sorry a minute, let's try the screen. I'm just testing my audio because it was playing up a little bit. I think it's to do with the connector, that I'm gonna not buy anything just yet in case I get a present for Christmas, so I've got to hold back a little bit on that. But literally not, this is more of a test than anything else. Literally I'm just in the shed and I've been doing my elastics. I've been putting some nice 4 to 6 and 6 to 8 solids in my top kits, ready for tomorrow. Don't know what it's going to be like. It's quite mild, but there's a bit of a wind. So anyway, this is a little Ian Everett 4B10 strung rig, strung with some 12s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 strung, just to fish through the water. Don't know what it's going to be like. Don't expect to catch shallow. I've got some half depth rigs and a shallow rig in case, but also nice 0.4 Ian Everett, ready. I don't know if you can see that, ready for tomorrow as well. It's just a bulk. What we got on there? Bulk with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 9s, 8 9s, sorry. Couple of droppers. That's just going to be for getting it down on the deck quick, for depending on where I draw, obviously, but that would be sort of 13 metre line, and then the strung rig would be same line, and then a 16 metre line, 14 metre line for fishing through the water on little strung rigs. I've got a half depth rig and a sort of deep shallow rig just in case. As I say, it's quite mild, and the interesting, I want to go and get my bait, and Wayne's almost sold out of maggots because everybody suddenly thought, oh, weather's warmed up a bit, might be quite good tomorrow. Not that everybody's going to Ivy, but quite a few of them are. So as I say, it was just testing my camera, and I thought I'd do a little spiel about tomorrow. I've also made some expanders up, some of our 4mm expanders, which I've got in the fridge, true Blue Peter style. That's where I basically put them in a corner of a bag, just cover them in water, and then do the bag up really tight so they take on the water but don't get any bigger. They're still taking on a bit of water, so they'd be good. And good thing about those, I've got a few different sizes ones in there as well, so you can just literally take a few out, put them in a pot, add a bit of water. Don't put them all in. Put them all in, then they can go a bit funny, and that way, if you've got a few to tell back, that you can then, if the first batch you mixed up get a bit squidgy, you can get some fresh ones out. Good. And then I've got a few dead maggots. I've got some pinkies, and I have got 4 pints of maggots. Not that I think I'm going to need 4 pints of maggots. I think 2 pints would probably be plenty. But you never know. Don't know, I'm going to start off careful tomorrow. Just tapping in maggots. Probably start off in a slightly deeper water at sort of 13.5 metres, 13 metres. I'll have a maggot line thrown out my hand short, literally 2 + 2. I don't expect to catch on that, but you never know. I'm definitely going to have a little edge rig tomorrow where if I've got certain pegs, you get a longer edge. So if I've got a long enough edge, I'll fish as far away from myself as possible. So if you draw something like 24, peg 2, peg 11, you've got longer edges there. 17, you can fish longer to your left or right edge depending on the peg, and then sometimes that can be quite good. Just literally going to mix our silvers, skimmer dark, with a little bit of bream multi, not loads, just I don't know, pint of ground bait, and mix that 2-to-1 ratio with micros, which I'm soaking now, so they're take on loads of water and they get nice and fluffy, nice and expand basically. So, but they're not squidgy; they're like a individual pellet. And I'll put that in a bit of ground bait and cut that in on my edges. I think it might be a bit windy tomorrow, so we'll see. That dictate on fishing long, to be honest, and depending on which way the wind's blowing. Certain pegs you probably get it off your back, other pegs you can have it blowing sort of right to left or left to right, depending on which way the wind goes, which could make it tricky to hold the pole long. And then a little maggot feeder. I'm going to take a little maggot feeder tomorrow. I'm going to start on it. I'm going to leave that for as long as possible because a few people will probably start on the feeder and they'll probably catch a few quick. Then that tends to fade. I think they move out of those pegs where those feeders are plopping. I'm hoping that if I don't fish it to start with, they might move into my peg. that's the theory. And then you might have a little run on it if you can't get a bite on anything else. But I'm hoping to catch just on maggots. If I'm honest, nothing else, just tapping in maggots. So I've got a bit of ground bait if I need it, but ground bait's never really worked for me on there, to be honest. I've always caught better either loose feeding pellets or just loose feeding maggots, or tapping in pellets or maggots. Casters in the summer, but it's changed. That lake's changed an awful lot. I think a few of the smaller fish have been taken out and put in some of the other lakes, but F1s are definitely wised up and they're very crafted. I seem to get they wise up really quickly, F1s, definitely, and they're not stupid, and they can be really tricky to catch. So you do have to try and fish nice little dotted down floats, nice delicate rigs, sexy rigs, as Andy May would say. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it fishes. But as I say, if it's blowing a bit and a bit of a ripple, it makes it very difficult to see a float dotted right down, so you have to take a shot off or fish a slightly thicker bristle so you can see what's going on, which definitely affects your catch rate because you're not seeing those little tiny, sometimes that float would be shotted to a dimple, literally just on the skim of the surface, and it just move a little bit and you'll be amazed, and there'll be one of the bigger F1s on. But I have caught shallow this time of the year on that lake, but only certain pegs. It's weird, you can be sitting there and somebody can be sitting next to you pinging a few maggots in and flicking a rig out and getting a bite, and at sort of 2 foot deep, 12 inches deep to 24 inches deep. It's mental sometimes, and then other people just can't get a bite. So it depends what you've got in your peg. It's winter fishing, isn't it? If you've got a load of fish shoaled up in front of you, you're only catching a small percentage of what's in front of you this time of year, for sure. And everybody's got enough fish in their peg on that lake to win. It's just a case of whether they're feeding or not, and just getting it right on the day. So yeah, I always feel this time of year with maggots, I like maggots because you can feed quite confidently, knowing that there's a lot of smaller, little stocky, tiny little carp in there that they're definitely eating the bait. So it's not lying on the bottom. It's like when you're feeding pellets. If you're putting a lot of pellets in, they could be just sitting on the bottom, not getting eaten, and then you're ruining your peg. So yeah, it's going to take it a little bit easy tomorrow, see what happens. Looking forward to it. I think this is the last one now before Christmas. Can't believe Christmas is only a week away. It's ridiculous. Flies by. Mental. But yeah, that's it really. I've just been playing around with some rigs, getting some short kits. Going to try and fish all short kits tomorrow. I will set a couple of long kits up with longer lashes, because I think sometimes that, don't know how clear it'll be tomorrow, but as I say, it's got a bit, not warm, but it's milder than it was. So I'll have a look, see what the colour's like on the lake. If it's pretty coloured, should get away with fishing a shortish lash, but if it's quite clear, then a longer lash definitely works on there. But those fish definitely come shallow when you don't think they're going to. You have to keep a little eye out for that. So yeah, that's the crack for tomorrow. I'm going to carry on making a few more bits up. Ground bait wise, as I say, I've got the skimmers dark. I know it sounds weird using the skimmers dark on an F1 lake, but it's slightly sweet. I do the same with sweet multi-match as well. That's another good ground bait, and we got a new version of it now, which I won't bother getting it out now, but it's slightly not as dark. It's a lighter mix than the previous sweet multi-match. So that's still sort of, well, it's finalising it. That's what's going out in the shops now. But it's lovely. I think commercial pole mix, Christian, I know, is playing around with a new version of commercial pole mix. So I know I'm not the first one to mention this, so I know I can say it. It's almost finalised from what I understand. So that's going to be, watch out for that, that'd be good. I know Christian spent a lot of time on that. I think also Andy and Paul got involved as well. So that'll be no doubt perfect, because they won't let that go out the door until it's absolutely spot on. So you can be sure it'll be a perfect ground bait. Alright, that's about it really for now. I'll try and film tomorrow if my audio doesn't misbehave. But that's about it for now. Have a good day if you're out tomorrow, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.